What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar. We're going to be breaking down our futures contract. And then I think I'm going to look at Microsoft. For some reason, actually, I know exactly why Microsoft has popped up in my head. I was listening to Chat with Traders podcast, and they had some gentleman on, and towards the end of it, brought up a very interesting point about Microsoft and AI. So I just kind of wanted to take a brief overlook of what Microsoft looks like, especially here recently with the NVIDIA run up and their not necessarily breakthrough, but with their new technology that they're integrating with their AI or for AI. So that was a huge catalyst. So I just want to see how Microsoft has stacked up against the competition as far as charts go. And we'll see how, what the upside destinations are on that. If you guys are interested, stick around for that. But for the most part, we're just going to be breaking down our futures contract, review our monthly, weekly, daily time frame, look at our 30-minute time frame, review Friday's very choppy session. I gave you guys a game plan going on Thursday night going into Friday about how we might chop around the 48.15 level, and lo and behold, we had a 10 wide point of control right there at that level. I said be careful taking longs above 48.27. We pushed up, did not hold above 48.27 for very long, and lo and behold, we had a pullback off of that level. So levels worked out very well in that sense. Very happy to see, just my ability to read the market. I didn't make anything. I made $68 on Friday, mostly because it was an inside day, and I just was not interested in trading the mixed MGI. Or the mixed market generated information. Just was not interested in me. I did attempt a short. I was up about a buck on it, $100. And then it came in. I was just like, I'm just going to get out of this trade. It's not doing what I wanted to. And, I'll take the $68. It's not about the money that you make a lot of the times. It's about the money that you keep and able to use that money moving forward, or just use the tool moving forward, for the days that we do have good volatile sessions and the market is very one direction, right? It's either up or down, not sideways. We don't really like sideways or inside days, inside markets, right? We want to see volatility and movement in one direction, giving us good opportunity, good risk reward trades. Whenever you have an inside day, like we basically had on Friday, then it's worst of your risk reward. All right, so let's go ahead and break down our monthly real quick. Monthly, one time framing up continues, okay? Some people have been saying it's one time framing up 3 months. I'm saying it's one time framing up 2. Nonetheless, the market is one time framing up, meaning we are taking out higher highs and setting higher lows on the monthly time frame. So very strong so far for the monthly, moving up in a good fashion. I have put, as of today, the 13th, my monthly 2024 target, 5260. I think we're going to get up to 5260 at some point this year. I think that's going to be a good target. The reason you may ask is because, well, occasionally I like to whip out the fibs, okay? Not going to lie. I like to whip out the fibs. And right around where we're at, or where we topped out, was like the 61.8%. And then the 100% is going to be the 5260, hence the target for 5260. So, yes, I did whip out the fibs. It is a tool. It's not going to be 100%, but it kind of gives me a target for the upside on the monthly time frame, right? Nothing wrong with, trying to not predict, but more or less give yourself an idea of what is possible. And I think 4260 is very possible, actually. So we'll see how that is. So monthly, one time framing up. Now let's look at our weekly. Remember, things changed on the weekly. After 2 weeks ago, we pulled back, putting ourselves into a rather large balance. Okay, balance high being 48.39.75, balance low being 46.53. Very large balance. You can call it a 4-week balance using that prior week's low, 47. Oh, what is that? Oh, sorry. I don't know where my little tool went. I guess it disappeared. Look at the low up at the top here, 1975. So 1975 you can use as your low if you'd like to, tightening it up. So saying if you took out that weekly low there, you'd be one time framing down. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm gonna give the buyers their due and say if we take out 46.53, then we'll be one time framing down on the weekly. In order for us to one time frame up again, we need to take out that all-time high 48.39.75. And so far, we've had a very, very difficult time within that range of between 48.15 to 48.39. Very difficult time in that range. So I'm going to mark, because every once in a while I like to look at resistant type deals, right? So in that range, I want to be very careful being long between 48.15 and 48.39.75 until we get really good confirmation by taking out that weekly balance high, and then on our daily time frame looking like a trend day up. Okay, so one time framing up, or excuse me, balance on the weekly, looking to one time frame up by taking out 48.39. Like I said, if you want to take set your balance low as 47.19.75, nothing wrong with that. You can do that, and you could say that the one time framing down starts at that point. But for me, it will be at 46.53, which will line up roughly. If we pull up our daily within that balance, it'll line up right around where that 50-day moving average has began to creep up. We're chopping around the 20-day moving average on our daily time frame, chopping around it, but the 50 continues to creep up and will be at that weekly balance low at 46.53. So it'll be very interesting to see how we react if we were to pull back to that point. Now, as far as our daily time frame, you can say we're one time framing up if you would like. I think I'm going to say that we stretch our balance high. Our balance high was that Thursday. We'd set our balance with that outside day down attempt, which failed miserably. And then Friday, we attempted to take out Thursday's high and attempted to get the all-time high, weekly balance high at 39.75, and failed rather miserably there. Ended up with closing back inside the day's previous range and value. Chopped around that 48.15 level like I described earlier. And yeah, just not a whole lot there for the daily. You can say it's one time framing up if you would like, but I think I'm going to say that it's balanced for me. I think we're just going to say we stretched the balance. Remember, there are 3 balance rules. Whenever it comes into whenever you're dealing with a balance rules do matter. So one is getting near a balance high or low and then rotating the opposite direction. Second is getting to the balance high or low, stretching it slightly. Or third is pushing to, through, and away from that balance low or high. And in this case, I think we just witnessed the second of that rule, which is stretching that balance slightly. And then for the weekly, we got near that balance high so far. We haven't taken it out and we haven't stretched it. So if next week we do, if we do somehow roll over and test the other side of this balance, we will, or get back below the 20-day moving average, we'll most likely have witnessed that first roll on the weekly time frame, which is getting near balance high and then rolling over. So daily just stretched our balance, still going to be in a balance. Now, if we take out Friday's high come Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday. So if we do come in Tuesday and, take out Friday's high, then we'll be one time framing up firmly. And then obviously the attempt at 39.75 will be rather positive, I would think, in that case. So Friday's high, 36.50, is now going to be our new daily balance high. And then we're going to look at our 30-minute time frame just briefly, and then look at Microsoft. All right, so let's look at our 30-minute time frame, shall we? And I've already marked the destinations, but let's just review what happened on Friday. So if I get rid of all these destinations and just look at the profile in general, right? You can see in this area that I'm about to highlight, we've had a very difficult time in this area. Okay. Where I'm highlighting, we've had a very difficult time in this area, but basically between 48 48.23 all the way up to 48.39. In a 10-point range, we've had the most amount of resistance, selling pressure, however you want to look at it. Nonetheless, price is having a very difficult time finding acceptance up here. And that could be partially due to that very wide point of control that we had up here whenever on the day that we set the all-time high, right? We had a very wide point of control. We chopped around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 time frames. 12 time frames. Almost a perfect point of control. 12 time frames. We chopped back and forth at that 48.35 level, okay? Several times we pushed up near 48.35 and 39.75 all-time high and have rejected rather aggressively. So was that, big boys getting out of the market there, and they have resting offers sitting there? Possibility. You'll never know. But what we do know is what the market has not done. The market has not found acceptance above the 48.25. I don't know why I keep saying 45. But the market has not found acceptance above the 48.28 level, essentially. Until we find acceptance above that, 48.27, 48.28, however you want to look at it, until we find acceptance above that level, I don't think we're going to get that all-time high. From what I'm seeing, we're not going to get that. And we attempted on Friday to take out that high, pushed up, rejected immediately. Began, all the euphoria was like, oh, we're going to go set all-time highs. I think at the time the Dow Jones was setting all-time highs at that point. So people were like, money, right? They're thinking money, money, money. That's what they had in their head there. And then all of a sudden, their hopes and dreams got crushed once we came in back below the open. Started a one time frame down. Had a double distribution day to the downside initially. Took out the initial bounce low and looked pretty grim because there was nothing for this market to lean on once we got back inside the previous day's range. Once you got back below 48.32 and you got back below the after taking out these highs here, right, on the 11th and then at 35, which was that high day, and also that 12 wide point of control. Once we came back inside the previous day's range, there was nothing to lean against. Nothing for this market to really say, oh, let's hold up here. Other than maybe this wide volume area here, right? Other than that, there's nothing in this market to hold us up. There was a vacuum down to 47.72.75. Nothing said that we couldn't get there. And whenever we began one time framing down, it began to look rather grim, but obviously in a poor fashion, sellers once again had an opportunity to take control of the day, but just failed to seize the day as, ooh, that's ugly. I hate when I do that. Chris, get it together. But failed to really do any damage, right? So I said that we might chop around the 48.15 level. Why is that? Well, because that was when we pushed back up, we had a very difficult time holding above B's high from that previous day, which was at the time a highest accepted price, which caused this market to roll over pretty good on that day. And then we got up to it, got above it, and then we came back below it, and then just kind of closed at that 48.15 level on Thursday. So I felt like maybe if we got back in the previous day's range and we couldn't get much extension to the downside, we would chop there, and lo and behold, we ended up with a 10 wide point of control at 48.15. We have an afternoon rally high at 48.23.75, and then the day's low at 48.02.25. So I'm going to treat Friday as an inside day. So if we take out Friday's low, we'll be looking to come out of an inside day to the downside, and then your target is going to be 47.72.75, 47.67.50. Then you have the single prints that start at 47.54.25, fill at 47.52.75, and then you have this lower distribution down here, right? Which would be key for sellers if we did ever push that low. Be key for the sellers to find acceptance in that range. Just as or excuse me, it would be key for buyers to, yeah, sellers want to find acceptance in that range. Buyers want to reject out of that area, just as sellers wanted to find rejection here, but buyers wanted to find acceptance up here, right? Where I just highlighted was that upper distribution from that trend day down that we had. We had a double distribution, right? I'm gonna highlight the distributions once more. I know we've been over this, but hopefully you remember. Upper distribution, lower distribution. Finding a whole lot of acceptance back in that lower distribution from that day. We've done a lot of volume and a lot of price action there. So I think maybe my line in the sand is if we do take out, let's just say 4,800. If we do take out 4,800, we take out Friday's low. I do think the odds increase really well for us to get that 72.75, 66 or 67.50, and then get into that lower distribution down here, which is where buyers want to, right? They want to, you get into it, they want to reject out of it, right? They want to come out of it just as the sellers did up top. So we'll be playing a pretty good defense game down there for the buyers. So that is the ES in a nutshell. Obviously, you know your upside destinations. If we open above 48.15 and we don't take out 4,800, 48.2375 will be afternoon rally high, will be your upside destination. Then you have 36.50, then the all-time high 39.75, weekly balance high. Okay, so once again, for me, in between 27 and 39, I'm going to be very cautious on getting longs unless we have a trend day up with single prints, you know, value being higher. Look at these last several days. Value has basically been unchanged. Value is the purple area. Value has been unchanged, right? You want to see value going one way or the other. When we started to sell off, right, we went from value going up, 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 up to down, 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 down. And then it began to go up, up, up again, and then basically been unchanged for the last 2 days. So we want to see value get moved higher if you're a buyer, and then get acceptance above that 27 area, and then take out the all-time high. Or if you're a seller, you want value to begin to move lower, get acceptance back below 4,800, which would then ultimately target these lower destinations in the ES. Okay, now for shits and gigs, let's look at Microsoft. Look at Microsoft here. Look at the daily. Actually, I want to look at the monthly. So, just like NVIDIA, Microsoft too is at all-time highs. Microsoft is at all-time highs, 390.68. Okay. We were one time framing up several months, came back to a balance, stretched the balance low, stayed in a balance, that we took out the balance high, inside month up. Okay. So now we're continuing to one time frame up on the monthly time frame. Okay, so monthly up in the Microsoft, monthly is up. Weekly, we were one time framed up, came into balance, and now we're one time framing up. We just took out that balance high. That balance high initially was right here at 84.30, right around that area. Balance low was right here, 62.90. Right in that area. We are now clearly above that balance high. So weekly, one time framing up, very strong on the largest two time frames, the monthly and the weekly. Let's look at the daily time frame. Daily, clearly one time framing up, several days in a row now. All right. Ooh, where'd my chart go? Clicked the wrong thing. Several days in a row now. Okay. Daily, one time framing up, was in a balance, came out of that balance. Now one time framing up, 1, 2, 3 days in a row. Inside day on Friday, had a bit of a retest of that previous weekly balance high at 84. So if we open above, come Tuesday, if we open above 84, on Tuesday. Look to take out 390. Okay, you take out 390, then you have clear skies ahead once again. Okay, one thing to note: volume was rather light on Friday for Microsoft, but very strong, just like Nvidia was. All right, and just real quick, I want to look at their 30-minute time frame, just to kind of see what kind of day they had. It looks like it was a choppy grind to the upside, but provided good opportunities. So if you're a buyer in Microsoft, you want to take out the day's high up here at 88.68. Afternoon pullback low 86.14. So you want to see us hold 86.14. If you do not hold 86.14, then you're most likely going to get the low at 84, which is a pretty good move to the downside. $2 move to the downside, $2 move to the upside. If you take out the high at 88, you have a $2 move to the upside. So really good risk reward no matter how you cut it. Definitely want to see 86 hold if you are a buyer. All this volume up here, right? A lot of volume got distributed up here. So if you can't get back above that day's high, you'll most likely rotate down because there's not a whole lot of volume here. So you'll most likely rotate down into that low day 84. So that's Microsoft in a nutshell. If you guys like to look over stocks more frequently, just leave me a comment down below. And I'll do my best to include one or two here and there. I think at the end of each week, I'm just going to pick a stock at random and just kind of go over it. I used to have I don't think I'm going to have it over here. I used to have a watch list. I think they took it off whenever they switched over to Schwab. But I used to have a pretty large watch list of stocks I looked at. But anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like down below. Thanks for subscribing if you are new. If you want to support a group of traders to chat and trade along with, CamelbackTrading.org. Go check it out. Paul Asmar as your mentor. Wonderful guy. Wonderful trading room. Can't beat it. $30 a month. It's $1 a day, baby. Go check it out.